I lived above a bar in the oldest part of Laramie, and the spirits who haunted my apartment were far from quiet.
I used to live in one of the oldest apartments in Laramie, Wyoming, right above a bar in the historic downtown. During the day, it looked warm and sunny, but the place carried a history that made the nights feel heavy. Laramie has always been an Old West town with a violent past, from Prohibition shootouts to bar fights that filled the cemetery faster than anyone likes to admit. And the worst part? That cemetery was moved, and nobody knows how many bodies were left behind. My apartment sat right on top of it all, connected, at least at one time, to the underground tunnels that used to run beneath most of downtown. Those tunnels were closed in the 80s after too many crimes happened in them, but my basement still had a sealed doorway leading straight into that darkness. I never went near it. On top of that, the apartment used to be a brothel. There was still a window pane on the bedroom door, something they used to open or close depending on whether a lady was busy. I always felt like the spirits there were the women who once lived and worked in that room. They never felt threatening, just present. But one night changed how I looked at the place forever. My ex-boyfriend and I were having a few drinks while the bar below buzzed with weekend noise. At some point, he suggested bringing out the Ouija board. I'd used one before and had never had anything negative happen, as long as I was respectful. But he thought it would be funny to provoke whatever was living with us. At first, nothing happened. No cold chills, no planchette movement. Then he decided, against every ounce of common sense, to go down into the creepy basement and use the board there. I refused and stayed upstairs. The moment he disappeared down the stairs, the air in the apartment shifted. A cold chill wrapped around me so suddenly it made me gasp. And then, my kitchen light exploded. I froze where I stood. The entire apartment went quiet except for the muffled sounds of the bar below. It felt like something was standing behind me, watching me, breathing down my neck. Every shadow in the room felt deeper, heavier, wrong. Those few minutes waiting for him to come back up felt like an hour. When he finally returned, excited and laughing, I wasn't amused. I shoved the board away and told him to cut it out. But the truth is, I wasn't mad. I was scared, because whatever had been in that apartment, whatever had followed him up from that basement, it wasn't playful, and it definitely wasn't one of the harmless spirits I'd grown used to. We ended up moving not long after. Too many little things kept happening whenever he traveled or whenever I was alone. And to this day, I will never touch a Ouija board in a place with that much history again.